Hello, Virgo. How are you? This is Jess from Soul Star Healing and Tarot. I hope you are doing great. First of all, happiest of birthdays to all of my fellow Virgos. My birthday passed. It was last week on the 27th. But to all of you, whether it is past or it is upcoming, I hope you are celebrated and appreciated by all of your loved ones. So, with that said, this will be a reading for the eclipse season. So, September 7th, we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces at 14 degrees Pisces. That's in the second decan. And if you are interested to know, the card that decan represents is the Nine of Cups. Okay. And then we have on September 21st, the solar eclipse in Virgo. And that is at 29 degrees. And that is represented, it's in the third decan and represented by the 10 of Pentacles. Now, I just started our reading and accidentally did not turn on my mic. But because of what came out here, I left the cards that I had pulled before I realized my error. So I'm going to read about this card again, and then I'm going to read the tarot cards that came out because I don't think it's a mistake. So let's see. And anyway, this is a collective reading. Take what resonates for you and leave the rest. And if you do resonate with the reading, if you would please subscribe, like, comment, share, any of that good stuff, it would be greatly appreciated. But the reason that I could not start over is because our shadow energy card right now to focus on during the lunar eclipse, okay, that's September 7th, is overthinking. And there could not be a more fitting card for us. We've been called out, Virgo, and and we're going to be accountable, and this card is staying on the table, okay? So I'm going to read this page to you again. You have picked up a breadcrumb and mistaken it for a loaf of bread. The information you have is not the whole path. However, it will lead to more crumbs that will eventually form a clearer picture. Focusing on the breadcrumb and turning it over and over in your mind will elevate stress, diminish creativity, and cloud judgment. Looking at an isolated detail can lead to twisting of words, thoughts, or narratives to invent desired outcomes. Manifesting negativity. That's what that's saying. Okay? Our brains are hardwired to detect patterns that might satisfy the mind, but are at odds with the heart. Merge your thoughts and feelings to create soul wisdom, also known as intuition. You will then recognize overthinking by the way you feel and can choose to redirect your focus and change the narrative. When you allow your mind to see beyond the crumbs to the nurturing whole, the energy will settle and visions will appear. Okay? Then the first card that came out here was the 10 of Wands. And as this book said, hold on one second. Focusing on the breadcrumb and turning it over and over in your mind will elevate stress, diminish your creativity, and cloud judgment. Okay? So here we are, burning our energy, overburdening ourselves with overthinking. What does that do to us? It directs all of our energy into surviving, okay? And being stressed instead of using our energy towards the things that we feel passionate about, towards our growth, towards our potential, all of the things that we find to fill us with this positive energy that Wands energy should be filling us with. Instead, we're blowing out our own candle by letting the wheels turn in our head over and over and over again. Okay? And what does that do to us? Here's the 7 of Cups. Now we're just completely overwhelmed. We can't make clear decisions. We can't see clearly what's in front of us, what the right choices are. Completely overwhelmed, okay? Not seeing things with clarity, what's right in front of us. Making probably some poor choices because we're just completely wasting our energy overburdening ourselves in our heads, overthinking about things, over analyzing things, over worrying about things. Okay. It affects us everywhere. All right. And now we're emotionally overwhelmed and we can't make clear decisions and choices for ourselves. Okay. Burdening ourselves with that. And then here we have the strength card. All right. We're living in our primal energy, not the primal energy that serves us, not that primal energy that tells us to run out of a house that's on fire. No, we're in the primal energy that creates mountains out of molehills, okay? That doesn't feel safe, that doesn't feel grounded, and we're not communicating with our higher self, okay? Not calling ourselves to work in our high vibration, okay? We're relying on that fight or flight energy to keep ourselves in this state of overthinking, trying to control everything, every outcome, and not just releasing, okay? This is what we are being asked to release during this lunar eclipse in Pisces, and that is to help us connect to our emotions again. Okay? Very important. Very important message Spirit has for us right here. Okay, let's grab a light card, Virgo. One card from the secret language of light. What is the energy we can focus on during the solar eclipse to counter this shadow energy? One card, please, Spirit. Soul Song. Let's see what this book has to say. And I'm sure it has nothing to do with ruminating in our minds. Okay. Your soul emits a beautiful song. Think of it as a pulsating light moving in rhythm with the universe. Your song travels through light and is the background music of your life. Even if you can't hear your song with your physical ears, know it exists. We know animals hear sounds, we can't. Your song is always resonating throughout the universe, along with the music of the spheres and the sound the universe made when it was born, the greatest song of all, Om. You can tune into it through your heart and your throat. Be willing to live your life from your highest, most aligned, most loving perspective, which we're not doing with that strength card there in our shadow. The next song or piece of music that moves your inner world will help you to tune into your soul song, or you can go out into nature. The music of nature will balance and detoxify. Align with the sounds of the earth, and you will find the steps to take next. And I'm going to tell you right now, Spirit saying this is what you need to be filling your mind with and not your overthinking thoughts. Okay. So when you find yourself overthinking, try putting on some music or put yourself in nature. Listen, go to the beach and sit by the ocean and listen to the waves and get your mind redirected. Okay. Let's see what tarot wants to come out with this. And this is the Whispering, oh goodness, Whispering of Stars and Garden Tarot. It's a newer deck and I keep forgetting the name. Okay, let's see what Spirit wants to say here. 3 cards, please, Spirit. Wow, okay, that was fast. Great, okay. So the first thing Spirit wants us to focus on is this 5 of Cups. And this card just came out for Taurus as well. Okay, so especially regarding this overthinking. If there's grief that needs to be dealt with, please acknowledge it, okay? But don't ruminate over it, okay? With this 5 of Cups, we have the 3 of Cups always together and the 2 of Cups on their own. And yes, we should turn around and acknowledge the fact that the 2 of Cups is there. But we do not turn around and acknowledge that 2 of Cups or try to find the Two of Cups in our life until we've processed the Three of Cups on the ground. Because this is a lesson, okay? This is a lesson that has us in a low vibration. And until we understand why we have been emotionally disappointed here, why we are in grief, who the players are, how we played a role in that, how we make sure we don't end up in that situation again, how we choose the people we allow into our emotional space more carefully, how we hold them accountable, how we hold ourselves accountable for letting things go too far. All right. So we don't do it again in the future and end up in this cycle again. You never turn around and look or accept that Two of Cups until you've raised your vibration out of grief. Okay? Because if you turn around in grief, you're going to align with other people in grief. Do the healing work first, and then you can start working towards this emotional, energetic alignment. Okay? Most important thing with this card, a lot of readers don't see it, they don't talk about it. This has to be healed before those Two of Cups are even thought about. Okay? Work on your grief, especially where you're accountable and how you play a role in this scenario. Okay? Because even if you're in a state where someone hurt you very deeply, there was probably a point in which there were signs that this was moving in that direction long beforehand. Now, there's griefs that happen traumatically that we don't have any control over. Okay. Those, of course, we don't have control over. But for a lot of the type of grief that this is, we could have stepped in long before and saved ourselves. Okay. That's the lesson we need to learn here. And then we grow and raise our vibration. And then we meet people that are in alignment with us. Okay. That are singing, that their soul song is at the same frequency as ours. All right. Then we have the Eight of Cups here. And Spirit is saying, when you are in overthinking, focus on being productive, okay? Because that is a much better way to use your mental energy than overthinking and ruminating and causing yourself stress and burning your energy, confusing yourself, and sitting in your primal energy. It can be work, okay? But this could be a project. This could be some type of physical activity. Whatever it is, work on something productive when you are overthinking and switch the energy into production and not depletion. Okay? Very, very important thing here. And you may find that it's something that you actually learn to master, that you're very connected with it and you really become proficient at it. Okay. But changing that energy into being productive is a game changer. Okay. Very important card here because the Queen of Swords is here. All right. And this is where we come in with some logic and we remove the emotion. We remove the emotion that has us stuck to this here. Okay. Cutting ourselves off a little bit from the emotional attachment to things would be really helpful in understanding when we should be emotionally attached to things and when we should step into that logical thinking. Okay. The Queen of Swords is not this feelingless woman that doesn't have any emotional attachments. Of course she does. She just understands that it's very important to know when it's time to step into your logical mind, okay? And step into your integrity and step into the truth, okay? She doesn't live in denial, okay? See where your denials are hindering you, okay? See where some things may have shown up in communications, but you didn't want to hear it, so you didn't listen, and you didn't listen, so you didn't see it, okay? There's a lot to learn from the Queen of Swords. Okay. She works with the heart chakra and the throat chakra. So it's not only in how she speaks, it's how she perceives things. And that has a lot to do with this overthinking. All right. There's a lot here where this Queen of Swords is very important. But removing some emotional responses and stepping into some more logical thinking. Okay. When it comes to this overthinking, ask yourself, how do I know this is happening? Do I have proof? What's the worst thing that could happen if I'm right? It's getting to the place of just not ruminating. And the Queen of Swords is the energy to focus on for that. Okay. She's a great person to help with this, help you refine, especially with the soul song, because music would be something that this Queen of Swords would resonate with. Okay. Because the sound moves through air. All right. So, very important. Let me grab one of these Wild Unknown alchemy cards. I'm not going to take a flipper from this deck. This deck is very hard to shuffle, so I'm just going to cut the deck, and then I'm going to take the card on the. Actually, I'm going to take one from the middle. Let's see. Spirit, what card would you like for Virgo? Sun. Beautiful. And it's our birthday month. So the sun is a wonderful card to get, as the sun is in our sign. Let's see. And this is the number one card in this deck. Okay. Each morning, the sun graces the night sky, summoning the dawn. Such is the energy of the sun card. With its arrival, it is an activation and a presence of vitality, of new beginnings. Our solar return, Virgo. It is said the sun is linked to the hero archetype and and the yang dynamic in Chinese alchemy. Through the sun's radiance, we are inclined to see ourselves fully and establish a sense of who we are. We gain confidence and clearer vision. In its light, we are assured that we too have an important role in the world. Associated with masculine dynamics, the sun card certainly carries a risk if not kept in check. Remember, the sun never actually sets. It is the earth that pivots away. As Assess whether it is time for you to awaken more fully or turn away in rest. Sunburns humble us all. And then it says, consider how reliable the sun is. It does the same work every day. In what way can you be more consistent in your rhythms? How reliable are you? Okay, beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the other things on the page. All right. And with the solar eclipse, amazing, the sun came out. There's lots of positive things about this. But Virgo, this is your reading. I hope it was helpful. Again, happiest birthday to you. I will see you next month for the next series of readings we do. Bye-bye.